This video is brought to you in collaboration with WoWhead.com. Hello everyone! Last week we continued our adventures in Argus, where we went through a couple of trials and we proved ourselves worthy of the Sigil of Awakening. We have one more piece to collect to finish the crown, but we don't focus all of our efforts just on the demons that we find in Argus. The Legion's fanatical crusade, it leaves them spread thin, and as they focus their defenses on our assault, this creates the perfect opportunity for us to tear into their forces on completely different worlds.
Find their portals and kill the demons on the other side.
We follow the Legion into worlds that oddly look familiar to the places that we've been like before, like the Firelands, Zangarmarsh, the Grizzly Hills. But still, the idea of visiting a whole different planet, it is kinda cool. We're not only dealing some blows to the Legion on their home base, we make sure that other planets are liberated from their influence. I wouldn't mind seeing a future expansion with different planets like this, go into the Great Dark Beyond and find out what other cultures and races are out there. I was actually kinda hoping to see some of these influences within the Army of the Light, but it seems that only the Draenei are amongst their ranks. Perhaps the rest of the army did have some more diversity once upon a time and was simply wiped out already. Who knows? But besides following the Legion through their gateways, we also have a quest that takes us back to Outland. Near the Shattered Fields, we find the dead body of a Lightforged courier who carried a very important letter, important enough to be murdered for. The Legion is up to something, and our scout Skara was after 2 encoded orders held by Legion troops to find out more about their plans. Her partner Bray was a codebreaker, but also slain while trying to get to our lines with a codebook that we'll need in order to translate these Legion orders. It's up to us to finish what they started, so we retrieve the Army of the Light codebook and we kill a few demons to get our hands on their orders. Turns out that the Legion is planning to free an Inquisitor called Ralgar, a demon from right here in Argus who cannot be killed because of a secret magic that he alone possesses. Because of his immortality, he was kept within the Arcatraz in the Tempest Keep, a prison where the Naru house some of the most terrifying and dangerous creatures in the universe. You might remember partying with Millhouse Manastorm in this place, so while we travel to the Arcatraz to stop the Legion, Romul will study the source of his immortality so that it can be broken.
High Inquisitor Ralgar was imprisoned deep inside the Arcatraz. The Legion is already here, so be careful. The Legion has opened portals to invade the Arcatraz. Shut them down before you find yourself outflanked.
We shut down the portals and kill a whole bunch of the Legion in our way. We even stopped them from draining Zadakev's lingering void magic, one of the bosses that used to be here in the Arcatraz. When we finally do reach Stasis Block Maximus, we arrive just in time to see Lazarun set our master free.
I am free!
Hurry, High Inquisitor! The enemy is upon us!
Lazarun, my loyal servant. Stay here and kill these fools. I have much to do.
It will be done, High Inquisitor! Seekers! Cover the High Inquisitor! Your invasion of Argus will fail! High Inquisitor Ralgar will see to that! Your efforts have meant nothing!
We were too late, and now the Legion has their immortal fighter back, but Romul has learned much. The secret to Ralgar's immortality, that lies within the fell heart of Argus, powered by wells leading directly to the core of the planets. By bringing down holy fire from above, we take out these wells, cutting his connection to the fell on Argus, and leaving Ralgar vulnerable.
I was so close! You are not worthy to stop me, worm!
But we are, of course, and we take out the High Inquisitor, claiming the heart of Argus for ourselves. It still has a bit of power left in it to protect us, another special ability that we can add to the Vindicar, right next to Light's Judgment and the Lightforged Warframe, with an added bonus that if you use the Shroud of Arcane Echoes, you'll actually be able to open up those special chests found locked on the planets. So with that little detour from Argus out of the way, let's focus on the main objective again, the Crown of the Triumvirate. Velen has taken Captain Faria and our forces into the Aranor Gardens to search for the crests. Picking up the Sigil of Awakening, that was like announcing our presence to all of Argus, and the eyes of Antoros are firmly upon us. The Legion has come to Makari, which means that our forces are most likely in trouble, and we have to go down to help them out.
Faria, status report.
Barot sent up a signal flare a short time ago. He is alive at least. I have heard nothing from the others.
Then let us waste no time.
We check in with Barat, Sorvor and Telamon, who were securing the area for Velen when the Legion came down on their heads. Each is kicking some massive demon booty, and we let them know that it's time to regroup with the prophets. Naturally, we also kill plenty of demons and disrupt their forces in the gardens until we find the prophet who's having a little moment.
Velen.
Forgive me, my son.
Are you hurt?
I am unharmed. Your arrival is timely. We must find the crest of knowledge before Talgath takes it beyond our reach.
So he is here, then. I was afraid of this.
The memories of the past are hurting the prophet. He had asked his friend Talgoth to gather as many of their people as he could to follow them off of this doomed planet, away from Sargeras' dark bargain, but instead, Talgoth betrayed him. He did not retrieve Valen's family as he was asked. His wife Nuri and his son Rakish, they stayed behind as Velen led their people away. Those that have done the Light's Heart quest line, you know that Rakish was taken by Kil'jaeden, tortured and tormented by Etragan and Balak, until nothing of his beloved child remained. Only hatred burned in his heart, and Velen could only hold his child as the light died in his eyes.
We will escort Velen safely to the crest. If you cover our retreat, we may just see this through. Lead the way, Prophet.
Make haste, my friends. Something dark and terrible stirs, and it is not Talgath.
Talgoth was also the one who located the Draenei on Draenor again, and he reported it back to Kil'jaeden. He was a very loyal follower, and quite busy with corrupting native populations of all kinds of different worlds, bringing down countless of civilizations. He tried to do the same to Azeroth by forging a pair of nimble cutlasses known as the Dreadblades, but our rogues, they were able to put a halt to those plans and claim the weapons for the war against the Legion.
Your screams will echo through Antorus if they escape.
The Army of the Light has apparently also encountered Talgoth numerous times, so here we shut down those Legion portals from which his troops are pouring in, and we also slay a fair few of them as we move further up into Kil'jaeden's terrace.
Worthless. The crest alone is powerless. This relic's time has passed. Throw it in the temple with the Naru. Let them rot together.
Azeroth will be ours!
At least we know where it is.
It is hidden in the seat of the Triumvirate, then. I sense only darkness within.
As we know, Kil'jaeden was not happy when Velen did not agree with their plans. They even tore off the head of his statue and they burned out the eyes. Velen needs a moment to reflect on the choices he has made. The day that will forever separate him from his brothers. No brothers in blood, mind you, but brothers all the same.
Swear loyalty to me. Pledge the hearts of your people to my cause. I will transform you, granting you knowledge beyond imagining, and might beyond measure. Together we will become Legion, and defeat the hungering void that would consume us all.
It is little enough to ask for what he offers us. Such power, and he speaks the truth.
I had hoped the others would sense the darkness behind Sargeras' words, but they were blinded by their vanity, their hunger for power. The Atamal crystal soon showed me the horrible truth of what would come to pass if we accepted the Titan's offer. We would be transformed not into wise leaders, but into hateful monsters.
After witnessing the truth, Velen shared what he had learned with Archmon and Kil'jaeden, but they didn't believe in the vision that he showed them, and they remained convinced that going with Sargeras, that was the best plan. Gently, sorrowfully, Velen detached his thought from theirs. Now, what was in his mind and heart stayed there. He would never again share it with these two, who had once been like extensions of his own soul.
Not all
Make
who
way!
wander are
I will
lost.
deal with this myself.
He's here.
How unlike you, villain, to stand your ground. A welcome change of pace, to be certain.
Talgath, we need not come to blows. I offer you one chance. Stand down.
Still the pacifist, I see. Face me! Oh, how Kil'jaeden mourned for you. Do you know how deeply your departure wounded him?
I lost a beloved brother that day as well.
You did not lose him. You gave it up. All of it! Your people, your planet, even your family.
I have not forgotten your betrayal.
I only hoped they would give you a reason to stay. How cold of you, leaving without your mate and child.
Silence! You dare speak of them?
Struck a nerve, did I? Shitsa, you hide behind your allies. As usual. We will finish this another time.
No, this ends now. This is your end. If there is a shred of goodness left in you, you will help us find the crest of knowledge.
You are far too late. Nothing will escape the temple, not even the light itself.
I see. Safe journey, Talgath.
The Prophet is not taking any prisoners as he smites the one who betrayed him, and in his final moments, still trying to hurt Velen, Talgath actually gives us something to work with. The Crest of Knowledge is apparently hidden away in the seat of the Triumvirate, and it's not unguarded. If Velen's suspicions are correct, then we may be facing a massive threat in the form of a Dark Naru. We must return to the Vindikar and plan our next steps there.
Talgath's last words. Not even the light can escape. What did he mean?
The darkness that lingers in the temple. The shadow that looms over all of Makari. Is Laura.
Impossible! She is a Naru! A being of the light!
There is much Zira did not want you to know.
Been fighting in the Army to the Light next to a Naru for 1,000 years, and never did Cerulean find out about their darkened states. This can happen when a Naru falls ill, or by the hand of mortals, as we've seen with the Blood Elves who drained the light of the Naru Mu'uru. If you push it far enough, then it will turn into a Void God. Mu'uru, for example, he turned into Entropius during the Sunwell raid, but there is a chance to recover. The Naru Dur in the Akonai crypts spent centuries regaining its light, and priests, they used the artifact to restore Saara from its Void God state named Raka. It's a bit odd that Cerulean never knew that this could happen, especially since his mate Illyria, she was thrown in prison for dealing with the Voids, but I guess that was just something that never came up.
Must unite against...
We have no time to celebrate our victory over Talgath. Laura's dark song echoes in my mind. If the Crest of Knowledge truly rests within the temple, we stand against the Void itself.
Light, help us.
Without the Crest of Knowledge, we cannot prevail. Come, we must brave the darkness.
Hold, Prophet. I have scouted the area. The shadows grip Makari more tightly than you know. The darkened Naru pulses with void energy. It has become a beacon, calling those who would use this power for their own ends.
It is far worse than I feared. Do we have the strength to face such a foe?
There may be another way. I will require a second set of hands, however.
the Narulura that stay behind to buy Velen and his people enough time to get away from the planet, she is turned to her dark state, pulsing with void energy, which has now drawn the attention of the Ethereals. They are no strangers when it comes to the powers of the void, as their homeworld of Karesh that came under attack by Dimensius the All-Devouring. He opened up countless gateways into the void and the twisted nether all around their planet, bathing Karesh in arcane and dark energies. They used every scrap of their advanced technology to construct magical barriers around their cities, but it was only partially successful. It did indeed block the dark energies pouring in, but the unimpeded flood of arcane energy that tore away their corporal shells and infused their souls with enough energy so that they could subsist without an actual body. They started to bind themselves with enchanted strips of cloth to provide their souls with enough structure to survive. Now this altered state, it actually proved to be a blessing in disguise, as their enhanced minds and magical abilities, it allowed the Ethereals to fight Dimensius to a standstill. Over the years though, Dimensius grew so powerful that he was able to summon armies of fellow void creatures, which in turn forced the Ethereals to flee into the twisted nether. They've showed up several times, we even teamed up to take care of Dimensius during our adventures within the Burning Crusade, and now here they are, drawn to the delicious powers of the void, ready to gather it for their own plans. We already saw a similar scheme going down during the Mage and Priest artifact questline, and speaking of artifacts, as we travel to Makari, our Shadow Priest Naifu Waifu, Zelatov, Blade of the Black Empire, she becomes very excited.
Can you taste it on the air? The sweet nectar of madness. Ah, this place is swollen with it.
Together with Illyria, we go down to the ruins of Oranar to investigate the situation.
It is as I thought. The Void's corruption has reached them here. I am certain it had help. Take a look around. Call for me if you find anything of interest.
You must hold fast to your resolve. Temptation weakens the mind and spirit. Look inside yourself and see the strength your vigil has cultivated. Do not let the long, dark night break you. Accept its gift. Look to the heavens above. See the million points of brilliance in the great, dark beyond. Know you are not alone. Our salvation is out there, somewhere.
I found a survivor. Come to me.
We see echoes of Arkan trying to keep his people sane, while the whispers of the void, they fill their minds. There's also a statue that fills our mind with a somber voice. You must resist the shadow's pull. Come to me, brothers and sisters. Be whole within the light. Let Arkan show you the way home. The rest of the message is garbled, and the nearby broken, they're gnawing on some of the pieces of the statue, so we make sure to collect the fragment prayers. Seeing how Arkan tried to keep them connected with the light, it seems like their transformation into the broken, it was not because of the red mist, that special weapon used by the orcs, as that will sever your connection to the light. It looks like Argus just had a very similar effect with devolving them into the broken.
Come on out. We mean you no harm.
A voice. Archon has never heard this one before.
We found your messages.
Yes, Archon did call, but he was not expecting.
Arkan is one of the few remaining broken that has not succumbed to the darkness, and he still remains some of his sanity. Illyria can sense some of the void influences nearby, and she thinks that dispelling these manifestations, that it should help our new friend clear his mind. The prayer fragments that we collected, they still have some light energy in them, so they'll do the trick. While Arkan himself, he wants us to put down a few of his people enveloped by the darkness.
Arkan, was it? Can you tell us what happened to your people?
Archon knows, yes.
Arkan remembers now. He remembers something that he believes will save us. Isilon is calling to him, and there we will offer words to the light. The light will banish the darkness, so we follow Arkan to Isilon.
Arkan remembers! Isilon calls to us! Isilon will look to the stars again!
That is not Isilon calling to you! Wait! He's still here. He crossed over into the void. We may still be able to save him, if we hurry. Who is that?
Watch now, as a weak mind gives way to darkness.
Show us, please! Please!
Let me satisfy your curiosity.
Thank you! Thank you! Archon finally understands! It will all be undone! There's nothing but the void! You must know the truth!
Resist their call, Archon!
Archon will make you understand!
No! What you have seen is a lie!
Whispers! Too loud! Ah!
We are losing him!
Why they not listen?
He cannot hear us! We must end his suffering!
What has Archon
I am
done?
sorry you had to learn this way. Rest now. Do you feel that? Something is pulling us back. The shadows can be an ally. Locus-Walker.
I see you've met the Viceroy.
What are your people doing here?
I am here to find out. Follow, if you can.
Together with the Locus-Walker, we step into the realm of the Void again, and we find some information as to what the videos are doing. The Locus-Walker is apparently Illyria's teacher, the way that she got into the Void to begin with and ended up in shackles. She's surprised to see more of his kind dabbling in the Void, but he had hoped to find more worthy souls on the planet to follow in his footsteps. Instead, Illyria is still his best student, while the rest of them, they will simply be overtaken in their conquest of spreading the Void and plunging Argus into darkness. With the recent audio drama, we did receive some more details, and it turns out that Illyria, she was assaulted by the powers of the Void, and the visions shown, it made her doubt about the path of the light. Circumstance pushed her deeper into the Void, to protect her beloved Turelian, to protect her child Arator and Azeroth, which eventually led to searching for the Locus-Walker. The Legion had spent countless lives trying to capture him, and eventually did succeed, holding him on the planet of Nishkara. Illyria allowed herself to be captured as well, and she made a bargain with him, his teachings for his freedom, but getting out of there did force her to leave behind her bow, waiting for marksman hunters to pick it up. Eventually, the High Elf had to cut her studies short and return to her beloved, using the powers of the Void to save him. But Zera was not happy with her child wandering off the path of the light, and they placed her in chains. We also learned that you don't want to ask the Locus-Walker about his real name, because he gets pretty pissy about it. And the video on the Vindicaar, he does know about him. Taumaturge Vastrin knows Locus-Walker as a disreputable individual who sought him out as a financier of a project that sounded profitable, but he has never repaid his investments.
I need to finish what I started, Locus-Walker.
Can you, though? With your attachments?
What are you talking about?
Why, your mate, of course. How does he feel about your choices?
Farewell. Turelian trusts me to make hard decisions, and I him.
I am not talking about trust. How can you expect to embrace the shadow with the light shining so brightly at your side?
Without the light, there is no shadow, teacher.
Locus-Walker has showed us what the Invaders are up to, and we need to stop them from cultivating the Void, calling it Argus. We shut down a couple of the Void Harvesters, and we kill a few of the Shadow Guard Ethereals that have tragically succumbed to the call of the Void. After some consideration, he decides to give Illyria this second chance, another opportunity to pursue her destiny into the Void. His people are summoning a being of darkness to provide just enough energy for her to start over.
Yes, this specimen will do. Prepare yourself, Illyria. Your friend here will hold its attention.
That thing! It's calling to me!
Focus your mind. Remember your training.
Arator! Turelian!
The Void shows only half-truths. Trust your instincts.
I can't! Oh!
Fight, curse you!
I won't let you. I am not yours to claim.
I wonder if that half-truth that they showed to her is a hint at something happening with Turelian, possibly connected to his son's dream. Impossible to say, I suppose, but for now, we pick up the heart of Nalatov for Illyria to devour.
Be gone, wretched darkness!
Be sure to collect our prize, fleshling. I will tend to Illyria, the heart of a demigod. This is no mere token, Illyria. Take it, and you will be one step closer to your destiny.
I understand. Thank you. Both of you.
How do you feel?
My head is swimming.
Remember, so long as your mind is your own, you command this power. It does not command you.
Illyria is drawn to Lura, while she hands us the remnants of Nalatov, a core shadow that we use for the Netherlight Crucible, and by doing so, we bring balance. These two forces must coexist, and their powers combined, it allows us to empower the relics used for our artifacts. Now that we have all that we need, it's time to join Illyria at the seat of the Triumvirate to try and recover the Crest of Knowledge, as well as dealing with the Ethereals and their plans with the Void. Inside, we first encounter Zural the Ascended, who represents the Shadowguard's first success at creating a Void-infused Broken, whose mind has not fallen into madness. A renowned brawler in his past life, Zural uses his newfound dark strength to empower his attacks and decimate his foes.
Such strength.
Champions, over here! The Shadow Guard is building up its presence near the temple.
Disrupting their efforts would benefit us all. Also, their commander here has a particular item that would be useful to me.
Just give the word, heroes, and we can begin the assault. Figure out their motives, and put a stop to their efforts.
Fools! We shall push you back! Our mission will not be jeopardized!
Zafrish, the Ethereum Lord of the Shadowguard. He's forced to come out and face us directly after we kill a whole bunch of his troops. The ever-tactical Zafrish deploys the forces of the Shadowguard with calculated precision. Though a skilled commander and strategist, Zafrish relishes taking a direct hand in battle. He turns his foes' weaknesses against them, leaving his vulnerable adversaries at the mercy of his ferocious pets.
I did not foresee this.
Thank you for removing the obstacles between me and this staff, heroes. Yes, this will do nicely. You'll find their viceroy near the entrance to the temple, feebly trying to break in. Eliminating him will give us an opportunity to get in ourselves. I'll see to opening the way once he's taken care of.
Not sure if handing over the staff to the Locus-Walker is a brilliant idea, but worse for later, I suppose. Next up is the underking of this operation, Viceroy Najar.
While I relish a healthy lust for power, this one fumbles for it like an amateur.
Like others of his ilk, Viceroy Najar is obsessed with harnessing the powers of the Void to serve his own ambitions. Drawn to the seat of the Triumvirate by the immense darkness emanating from deep within, Najar will stop at nothing to claim it for his own. Given the Viceroy's experiments at infusing vessels with the power of shadow, the implications of what he might accomplish in Argus are dire indeed. A chance of getting vengeance for Arkan and stopping his plans sounds like a good enough reason to me to put the Ethereal down.
No! The darkness was to be mine.
I sense great despair emanating from within. Lura.
Yes, the Naru. We must get inside. Illyria, the skills you have learned can open the way.
Understood. Champions, once the door is open, clear the way to Lura. We will be right behind you. The way is open. Hurry, heroes. Such chaos. Such anguish. I have never sensed anything like it before.
It is rare that a Naru falls into void this way. The few cases I know of have occurred when mortals were involved. What fascinating implications.
Such musings can wait, though. This entity must die.
Like I mentioned before, Lura was the one who stayed behind to buy the Draenei the time to escape. Kil'jaeden, then enraged by this betrayal, he ordered the wounded Naru to be sealed away in the seat of the Triumvirate. Over the long millennia that passed, Lura fell from the light to the void. Her elegant song of courage and hope that became a shadowy dirge of despair, luring those seeking to lay claim to her power. During battle, she calls to the void, becoming immune to all attacks as rifts open up within the chamber, but that also creates an opportunity for Illyria as we kill the Rift Warden.
Seize the power of the portals, Illyria! It can become your weapon!
Incoming!
She uses her mastery over the void to break the shield around the Dark Naru, which gives us the perfect opportunity to end her suffering.
You survived. Interesting. How do you feel?
The voices are louder now, more insistent, but they do not control me.
You asked me to teach you to use the void as a weapon. Now that weapon is you.
It seems my training is complete.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to test the limits of this newfound power. Come.
A quite shocked and surprised Illyria is bombarded with the remaining essence of Lura. She has become a void weapon because of it. But first, she'll have to test the limits of this newfound power. Oh man, this is going to be incredible. I'm sure that we're going to enter this badass scenario in which she plays around with this new void form. Maybe whispers will assault her mind, or dark apparitions of the void, now drawn to her as a moth to the flame, and through it all, we get to stand at her side, and we get to help her through it. I can't wait to see that go down, so let's quickly grab the thing that we came here for, the Crest of Knowledge, and check in with Illyria at the Vindikar.
The caterpillar has become the butterfly. She is all but ours now.
Oh, apparently she's just standing there looking like a regular self. Ah, she mentions that she learned to control it off-screen. The transformation that we witnessed is now completely under her control. I see. Alright, well, at least we got the Crest of Knowledge, and Velen takes the Eye of Prophecy out of his weapon. So let's see the badass conclusion of finishing the crown.
The crown is whole once more. Now we take the fight to the burning throne itself. Ready yourselves, and Taurus awaits.
I see. The Vindikar got a shiny new color, and Taurus the next raid awaits, but not for a few more months. And that is where the story of Shadows of Argus ends for the moment. Of course, there is still more on its way. The story is not finished yet, with the raid still ahead of us. But I feel like the breaking point of the storyline, that should have been done a little bit better. Maybe we could have even unlocked flying on Argus in the direction of the Vindikar has now been upgraded with the powers of the crown. It's now powerful enough to keep you safe while flying in the sky. In my opinion, that would have been pretty damn sweet. I also think that the Army of the Light and the story on Argus as a whole, it needs some additional storytelling. I don't care if it's a short story or a comic or even happens in an animation. Something that explains what went down before we made our way to the planet. And at this point, I go into a little rant as to how I would love to see more details about Illyria, Trewellian, Lofrexian, her path into the void, and the relation with Zera. But that wish came true with the new audio drama, so well done, Blizzard. The only thing I would still like a bit more information on, that would be the Broken, the Krokul that we party with. Why is Atun so hostile towards Velen when they were the ones who volunteered to stay behind? What were the millennia dealing with the Legion and Argus like? But that's really a minor thing, and I'm really happy with the additional audio drama. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to finish up the video for today. Next week, I'm going to cover a couple of the dialogues, a couple of the conversations that didn't flow into the overall storyline, as well as take a look at what the future is going to bring, talk a little bit about the spoilers, and perhaps even speculate on the next expansion, but that will be for next week. For now, if you're looking for some more details about all the things that we talked about today, then check out the related WoWhead article in the description down below. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time guys, see ya!